Coming up on this episode, me and Dave ask the question, is the population actually declining? There's so many things that are kind of propelled through social media and just through life that say we're on the down and down. Are we really? So today we're going to explore that. We're going to ask the questions such as, is it true? Explore the causes of it. Ask if AI will replace us. You're right over there.
All good, bro.
All good in the hood?
All good in the hood.
Eager to get going?
You're damn right.
As always. And then we're going to end with asking if we actually have enough to support the so-called 10 billion that we are going to reach by 2080. That sounds like a hell of a lot of people. It's a lot of Daves, for damn sure. As always, we will end with a seed. And, as always, we'll start with Big Dave's Did You Know? And this one, he goes all over the world for. So without further ado, let's go get into it. What's going on, beautiful people? This is the Perspective Chasers podcast. I'm your host, John.
And I'm a carbivore.
You're definitely not a herbivore. And on this episode, we are talking about all things to do with the population declining. So, let's get into it. Population's declining, bro.
No way.
There's no people.
Thank God. I can finally drive to work in peace.
Too many Daves in the world.
I mean, that is true, man. Everyone knows too many Daves.
But why is that everybody knows it?
Don't even know, bro. There's just way too many of us, man.
I wonder when, genuinely appropriate question, when was the last baby Dave born? I don't know if I've met a baby David.
Nah, see, there's always Davies, bro, but then they become Daves.
Daves.
Anyways, what are we talking about today?
Population decline.
Oh, that's why you're making that point.
Duh.
Oh, my bad, homie.
Yes, the population is declining, bro, and I want to know why and actually know if it's true. Because one side of the world says there's not enough people, the other side says there's too many bloody people. Which is it?
Fair point.
I mean, we're definitely not the guys to give the actual answer, but we can at least pose the question, no?
True.
Just poke it, poke the bear. Somebody's going to answer us, maybe. I don't know. But do you have a did you know related to this? Because
You damn
I
right,
want
I do.
some kind of fact for this.
Yeah. Did you know that Japan's population has been decreasing since 2008?
Japan's been going down since 2008.
Yep.
All right, that's one contributor that's not, got increased their batting average.
South Korea's going down. It was slightly going up because of a lot of foreigners coming in, but now it's going down again. Italy's at record low birth rates. China's decreased population 3 years in a row now. Though it does make me laugh. Their population decreased for the third consecutive year in 2024, dropping to 1.40 billion. That's a decrease.
Yeah. See, that's the hard thing about population declining. When there is so many people everywhere because everybody congregates in the same places, it's hard to actually feel population decline. And from the actual stuff that I have looked into about this before doing this episode, our population overall is on the up and up.
True. Well, there's some did you knows about population in the United Kingdom. Dun dun dun. In about mid-2023, for the first time in 50 years, deaths outnumbered births in a year.
Oh, I wonder what was going on during that time.
Mid-2023? Absolutely nothing, mate. We'd come out of all that nonsense.
We're just coming out of it.
No, we were a fair way out of that by then.
Was we?
Yeah. Wasn't that end of 21?
Bro, that went on for years. Majorly it went on for a year, but the actual lasting impact of it ran on for years. And
Total fertility rate fell to 1.42 children per woman, which is below the replacement rate of 2.1.
All these fractional children out there.
That's an average, isn't it?
Yeah, but I definitely know some fractional adults.
Hi. And at the moment, this country is projected to have 1 in 4 people over the age of 65 by the year 2050. So a quarter of the population will be pension age.
By
2050.
We will be there nearly.
Nearly.
Another 25 years, we'll be 55.
Yeah.
We'll be 56.
Yeah, but that's quite scary. That causes problems.
But see, so is it true or is it not?
It's a mixture. It's not true on the case of the world as a whole, because the world as a whole is still increasing. Mm-hmm. And is projected to for quite some time. It's like 2080 or something like that.
Right, so that's what I've seen. To the point of like the year 2080, we're going to increase up to like 10.2 billion people. We're currently around like the 8 billion. So we're going to go up by another 25%, but yet population decline is constantly perpetuated over and over again. I know, I'm trying. Numbers are my friend. It's words that I struggle with sometimes.
Fair. Yeah, but I think the thing to realize, I mean, obviously that's a fair way away, really. That's the end of our lifetime when you think about it. But obviously, it's going to peak. And then it is going to go.
But then this is where like the AI side of things come into it. And you've got, I forget his name, but the guy that's trying to live forever. Like there's so many things where like tech is potentially going to rig the game. In the next 50 to 100 years, look at like now we've got quantum computing. They're looking at things like, what is it? Splicing the genome, CRISPR technology and all of that. So we're hacking our DNA, we're hacking computers and broadening the actual capabilities and capacities of computers. So the actual way that we can experience life, like I genuinely wait for the day. Now we've got Neuralink and everything else. When's the first consciousness going to get uploaded to a computer? Because that's going to be tried. I guarantee you, some of the countries that you've mentioned that populations are going down, they're going to try some radical stuff.
Most likely. I mean, it could be good news for me, man. It could just mean that I have to hold on for about 40 years and then I'll have eternal life.
I've got a question for you. Would you sign the contract if you could have this life lived out, but the moment of your demise, your consciousness is uploaded to RuneScape?
Oh, God. Oh, no. That would be like...
Or your favourite RPG or...
That would just be
game.
like... That'd be like weirdly internal torture, wouldn't it?
Depends if you've done well.
Yeah, but you know, everyone's character in a game dies at some point, so you're going to have to live that over and over again.
Yeah, but again, just in a frame of like being that digital consciousness. So that instead of living in the world or whatever else, you live in RuneScape world, or if you liked GTA, you could pick GTA or Fortnite or whatever else. But
Probably.
You could go digital for digital. You've had a real world life, a real world experience. Round 2 is digital consciousness.
I think so. I think it'd be interesting.
Maybe give it a parameter. Say match whatever you've done in physical years, you can do in digital years. So say like 90 years of digital gaming. So you'd be like, bro, all of the retro games you call on, I would definitely catch all the Pokemon by then.
100%.
90 years of just banging out. I'd complete every Pokedex known to man.
Yeah, why not? Screw it, man.
But
You've got nothing left to lose, have you?
Bro, just for experience, like life is so vast, and like you could literally live out an entirely different existence on every continent of this world, and probably not repeat the same thing over and over again. You could have different families, you could have different jobs, you could have different relationships, friendships, hobbies. Like, bro, you could live one life round, be interested in golf, live another time, go football, basketball, go through all of the different sports.
Imagine just out of spite, they like put my digital consciousness into like an old Tiger Woods PGA game on the Xbox, just so I can experience what good golf is like.
Just once.
Just once in my life. I drive over 200 yards. Yes. So you think AI is going to replace us eventually?
I don't know if it's going to replace us, but I think people are going to try really hard to merge the two. Because there is that bridge of like humans are electrical beings essentially, that we are literally only considered alive because there is an electric impulse going through our bodies right now.
I mean, I guess if you go by logic like I typically do, it would be the next step that makes sense, right? You've tried everything to keep life going as long as possible in a human, and we still can't beat that.
Especially for like the hardcore atheists out there that are like, once we're done, we're worm chowder. What do they have to lose in that sense? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't believe in going to heaven or going to hell or any type of afterlife, going up onto GTA seems pretty fine way to end.
True.
But imagine having that as your tombstone. You've got the screen and your family can still engage with you as like a player 2 or whatever else. That would be sick.
That would be pretty jokes.
Just like, yo, what are you doing? Playing GTA with Granddad. Da-da-da-da-da-da. That'd be so jokes. But see, so there are good ways in which you can use it, and you've got all of the different ways in like AI, especially for like, bro, we do content, and there's going to be people out there with far more content on the internet or just stored than us. You could build a whole archive of a human being. So yes, they could be deceased or dead or whatever else, but you can have their likeness. You can have their kind of cadence in how they talk and their voice. You can create their likeness to within, probably say like within reason, 70%. Like by the time we have like hard light holograms and this, that and everything else, all of the AI stuff's going mad and blah, 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 blah. But soon we're going to have robots, all of the Tesla stuff. China's doing loads of robot stuff. Life is always going to find its way to move. We was once cavemen with club. Now we're going to be robot man with flying machine or whatever else. We really are just going to keep progressing. Why is life going to stop? I don't think life has a bias in that sense. It just wants to be.
True. That's a fair point.
No?
I mean, I'm inclined to agree.
What do you think is going to happen for the kind of cause and effect side of things in the next, say, 50 years? How do you reckon it's going to actually affect day-to-day life?
I mean, I think if you start to lose your population, you start to have a massive play on your economies for your countries. Like the fact that I said, and like, did you know, like, if your population is getting older, that costs more money. The older you get, the more you cost. It's pretty simple stuff here. Because chances are you get more health conditions. Chances are things start to go wrong with your body. Chances are you need more support. You need people with you more often. That costs money. People also start getting their pensions. More people at pension age, more money. Which means the countries are going to get poorer. Because they're going to get more debt. They're going to have to borrow money because there ain't no one making the money for them anymore. Because you've got less people to tax. So you have a direct population up, or older population. Who knew? There goes my economy.
So do you think as the population decreases over time, the gap between the rich and the poor is going to increase? Because, for example, the rich could hire AI, they could have robots in place, they could buy these new Tesla cars that are meant to come out that drive themselves, and they could outsource all of that stuff to take advantage of the better side.
If that happens, yes. But if it doesn't, or if it's not quite at that level yet, I think it will get closer. Because the rich will hemorrhage money. Because they'll have more people to look after. I think the poor will adapt quicker. In a sense that they'll understand. People like myself, for example, like I'm not, destitute, don't get me wrong, but I'm not rich. But I'm making a choice that I don't feel like I want to have a family. And there will be more people like me that will start to take that mantle. And we're going,
But then doesn't that perpetuate the problem? Because like you just said, you're going to need somebody to look after.
This is why the cause is such an interesting thing. Because it's so late. There's so many different things. I mean, like, to me, when you say, like, the birth rate's declining, and it has been since, like, the 60s or something, right? Why is that? Well, my number one reason would be that women are more independent and have way more rights than they ever had, which is good, before anyone comes at me. But women are more career-focused now than family-focused. Going back to our mom's generations, the focus would have been family. Whereas if you look at our generation now, like I look at my missus, her focus is career. She wants to live. She wants to enjoy life, do her thing, put her stamp on her life and get her place and move forward.
I think...
Whereas I think maybe the generation just before our mothers especially, their job is mother.
Yeah.
And they were raised like that, right? Even at the school, they would have been taught home economics and things like that, right? How do you bake? How do you do this? Whereas now, that don't really happen. Not in this country and most, like a lot of developed countries, that doesn't happen. Because they have that active choice to say, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm going to go actually be a CEO. And I'm going to work my way up just like he does. And I think that has a massive knock-on effect. Because people will have kids later or they will miss their chance and they won't have kids.
It does, but then that very thing touches on a few of the things that you've already mentioned, but like the economy side of things. It used to be far easier for a household to live on one income. That's no longer likely. So when our mum's generations were coming up and they was going through their kind of peak of the workforce and everything else, I guess it's probably the easiest way to say it was a two-parent household. It'd normally be the second job was complementary. It wasn't a necessity.
No.
Whereas these days, a two-parent income is more often a necessity. And unless
100%.
you have a solid two-parent income, it's hard to
You ain't
keep your head
raising-
above
yeah.
water.
Bro, the average for a woman like birth rate at one point was like 5. So you're telling me that one person's salary was buying a house and looking after 5 kids? Bro, I couldn't look after a fifth of a kid right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially not if I'm buying my own house. That ain't happening. Like, this is not gonna happen, bro.
So this is the thing. There's so many, and then you've got all of the different stigmas that roll out through society. So coming up through our mum's generation and even our generation, but I think it even was probably more stigmatized during our generation. The idea of hand-me-downs. How many people did you know that had hand-me-downs? Whereas when you had a big family of 10, 11, like my mum come from a family of, I think she had 10 siblings. There was 11 of them in total, right? So if you've got 11 kids, you're not buying all of them fresh stuff. I mean, you've got boys, you've got girls. Some of you are wearing some of your clothes. You're wearing, like, it will pass down. That's a perfectly normal thing to do. But even that raises a whole nother question of the consumerism problem that things ain't built quality anymore. Most clothing items and like things are very, very perishable. So you're not going to get the last and the kind of hand-me-down ability out of them.
Absolutely not.
So then all of these different cogs that are shifting throughout the world, things don't last as long as they used to do. People don't feel that they're secure in life. They don't feel that there's certainty in the job market or in the economy. There's so much uncertainty in life. Why would you want the population to increase? But it still boggles my mind that regardless, it's still going to go on the up and up for another, 55 years? Yeah. And I know the sways amongst the countries and it's not going to be even everywhere else. But again, life's getting more and more easier to transverse the entire frigging globe. Like, what once took people months to voyage around the globe now takes people an afternoon's flight. It's only going to get more interconnected. Our population has only grown. Like, why is it... Again, this might be a bit of a touchy thing to say, but why is it such a bad thing if we do dial back the population a bit? I'm sorry, but if we've reached 10 billion and we're the most populated that we've ever been, you cannot tell us or tell me that 10 billion is the creme de la creme of our species. We can crop that way back, and not do no harm to the species. 10 billion are not creme de la creme. I'm sorry. No way. We can cut that down massively.
Jesus.
I'm just saying, like, is it necessarily a bad thing? If it's done through, like, natural selection and just through nature and the kind of survival of the fittest and the world finds its way, is it the worst thing? Do we need to just keep growing and growing and growing as a civilization to be successful?
I mean, for the planet itself, dialing it back a bit would probably be good. Because how the hell does the planet actually support that many people?
It's struggling to support us, that's for sure.
That's the thing. It's struggling. Like, people forget this, man. Like, fossil fuels are finite, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're running out. If I'm not mistaken, ain't they meant to run out, like, dry by that point?
I see something that basically said that they have a thought that the veins where they find the fossil fuels may actually rejuvenate quicker than they first thought, but so you can go back to like an oil field maybe 10, 15 years later or whatever else and re-drill the same field. And it would have surfaced more oil. But again, that's a whole lot of speculation.
But it's not even just that now, though. Like, there's so many things we now rely on. It's not just fossil fuels anymore.
Yeah.
But it's fine earths. And the minerals now, they're all finite, bro.
The thing is, though, bro, you've got to think, there was one time that, I think it was like whale blubber or whale spit was the most valuable thing in the earth. There was a time in the world where the richest man on earth sold beaver pelts.
Mm-hmm.
So what's valuable and what is cherished moves throughout society and everything else. So once, what we cherish now might be fame, clout, status, this, that, and that, all of that. But once the population comes to decline and everything becomes scarce, I think you'll find a lot more people start to realise what's actually important. Like, but even now, you're starting to see that people are seeing there's a slight disparage in like the affordability of meats and what people are pushed towards going like vegan or not vegan, vegetarian and all of this kind of stuff. That's like, hey, these are kind of cheaper options, more affordable. And essentially people are getting priced out of meat in some sense. Like, bro, I used to eat a lot of steak. How much is the price of meat, chicken, well, all of that stuff gone up in the last couple of years?
Mm-hmm.
Now extrapolate that over the next 55 years. How much are eggs now? How much are they going to be in another 55 years? How much is a Freddo going to be in 55 years for, God damn it?
£5.
Like, going to take out a small mortgage for a Freddo.
God help you if you want the caramel one.
But that's the thing that, like, there's so many instances where I think we'll just have to look at what actually is important to us. And I think that will probably bring us back home in that sense of where we're like, hey, AI is kind of taking us away from this and da-da-da-da-da. And you will start to see that kind of dehumanizing part of it. Because again, how much do you change something before it's no longer the core thing? So how much of a human do you change out with AI and replacement parts before it's no longer human?
True.
So I think those people that are genuinely like organic in that sense, like, I keep thinking about the idea of where technology's going and everything else. We could very much have like Matrix style birthing chambers. You could literally have people made in test tubes, brought to full term in a simulated womb, and all of this. So you wouldn't actually need a human population, like humans, to be reproducing to reproduce humans. You could genuinely just do it by science with what we've got now. So humans reproducing ain't really a problem. We've got the genetic codes, we've got the process, we've got all of this stuff to replace it, we've got the tech and da-da-da-da-da. So then once you start merging the two, do you lose the value of it? Like, obviously it's something special to create life with another human being. It's obviously only two humans can create another human life. We can't create no mule species like a freaking donkey or lost it. Can't create a mule like a donkey between a horse and a... Can't create a mule like merging a horse and a donkey. Like, but then could you if you had Homo sapien and like Homo naledi or something like that? So maybe we would create...
What was a Homo naledi, bro?
One of our ancestors.
See.
Like one of the Neanderthals or Neanderthals, if you fancy.
That exists. I'm here.
No, they were far different to you, bro. Mm-hmm. But you probably do have some of their genome. But again, that was just a different form of human. And they probably thought they was going to be around forever. Again, nobody realizes their demise. But where the hell are they now?
True.
Now we've just got Homo sapien. So then how long before we get Homo techian? Or some other nonsense?
Homo techian.
Like something where it's like, hey, if you want to reproduce, you upload your genetic file opposed to the old messy method of actually reproducing. Like there's so many ways in which life could just pivot. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, we don't have organic birth no more. Did you ever see the film, an old Sylvester Stallone film? I think it's Judge Dredd. No, not Judge Dredd. Demolition Man. And he basically he's a prisoner, he was cryogenically frozen, and they thaw him out years and years in the future. By this point, they've got rid of toilet paper. He goes to go to the toilet, and there's just 3 seashells on the side. He looked about as confused as you did, but they've outruled swearing. So if you swear, you automatically get a ticket. So as he's swearing, going like, where's the beep, 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 toilet paper, it just starts printing out tickets. He grabs them all and goes, I've got it covered. But there's so much of life where it gets to the point where we just disconnect and we try to use technology to replace everything. Eventually it's going to replace us if we keep doing that. So we either start valuing what it is to be human and all of the aspects that come with that, or you completely disconnect from it and you go, cool, I'm going to delete my feelings. I'm going to freaking increase the analytics and run the algorithm of being a human and this, that, and everything else. And just kind of merge better that way. People don't want to die, bro.
No.
So I think they'll try harder and harder and harder to survive.
I think that's a fair point.
It is probably going to be the lifeboat of humans. No, either AI or seeding some form of basic bacteria that you send to another planet to hopefully in time evolve into new life. There's no guaranteed ways, but that's the kind of best two bets you've got, no? If we are dying out. Bye-bye. But then, I guess the question to kind of end it up then is like, if we are going to get to 10 point whatever billion, are we actually going to have enough stuff? Like between the economy, the food sources, the space. Again, bro, there's land everywhere, but everybody wants to live in the same damn places. So I genuinely do think we've got enough space for everybody, but not everybody in the same damn place. Like, we literally have to diversify the land that we use and just spread out more.
Yeah, but then that will then start to screw with your economies and how much money you can make, how much things cost, things like that. That's why cities are so dense. They carry a lot of the economy for countries. Think of the UK, think of London, Birmingham, Edinburgh, things like that. They're very dense and they create a lot of the actual money that props up the government.
But what about more of them like smaller hubs opposed to big cities? So kind of like trying to push.
Still probably have the same principle. Could potentially work in large land masses, big countries. Wouldn't work in smaller countries though.
Like, bro, we can't see this coming 55 years away and still not figure out a solution. I'm not saying we're the ones to figure it out, God no. But like, we've got 55 years to figure out, to see this bus coming for us. If we can't jump out of the way of it, we deserve to get splatted. Like, if we cannot figure out how to survive beyond 10 billion, we deserve to start decreasing. Like, again, maybe once we thin the herd and kind of the better ones start rising to the top, we'll start to actually realise some of these key thoughts.
It may even just be a point of it's not so much how to stop it, but how to stabilise it. Because if it gets to 10 billion and it starts dropping, is there a decent number to stabilise that? That would make everything all right?
I suppose.
Probably.
Yeah, that is.
You know, if you bring that back down to around that 8 bill, 7 bill mark and stabilise that.
So what do you reckon the ideal number for the global population would be?
I wouldn't even have a bloody clue.
Of course we don't. But
I mean, it's hard to even fathom that, like, China is probably responsible for, like, what will be 10% of that. You know what I mean? And India, I think, will be well on their way towards that as well. And that becomes really stark on how big the world is, but then how small the world is. That of that number, like, most of the world makes up this much. A couple of countries make up this much. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah, but that's the thing as well. Like, there's places that you can still, to this day, go on this planet, and you could walk for a week and not see another human being.
I mean, there are places that are uninhabited for a reason.
Yeah, that
too. Goddamn Snake Island in Brazil. Ugh. Nuke it, bro.
Yeah.
That's my worst fear, man.
Really? Snakes?
I can't stand them.
Snakes is your worst fear?
One of them. I can't stand them, bro.
What's another one?
Don't like spiders very much either. Like, imagine a whole island that's just got, like, a population of snakes. We're not talking, like, a few. I mean, like, we got, like, you know, actual per capita for these snakes now, bro. Like, no, man. Get in the bin, bro.
I'm pretty
And they're venomous as well.
Yeah, they've got some of the most venomous snakes.
I think it's like copperheads or something like that. Like, they're nasty. I'm like, bro, we just bomb it. Bomb it. What is it good for?
Absolutely nothing.
Just torch the thing to the ground, bro. We can build something on that. We don't need them. Burn it.
Nah, leave the animals alone, man.
Bro, that's space. They're occupying space. We don't need that many.
But there's so much other space than the snake space.
Bro, I say we go take it.
Bro, have you ever heard snake jazz?
Let's go take it, bro.
After you.
Let's go burn it down.
Lead the way.
It's napalm it.
Lead the way with your phobia of snakes. Lead the way.
If I had some napalm and some stuff, I wouldn't be scared anymore. I wouldn't be scared anymore, baby.
I'm just waiting for that day.
You piloting a helicopter and me just be like...
I'm just waiting for that day where you get to your, like, last breath and they go to put in the DVD for your, like, reincarnation and it's snakes on a plane. Just Dave's internal damnation.
That would be.
Grim. So genuinely, what's your overall thought for the population? Good or bad? Do you reckon it's...
As in, what do you mean? The decline, or as in the population itself?
Are you optimistic in terms of the future of the population?
Oh, based right now, God no. There's too much stupidity about. Way too much stupidity about, bro. Speaking for my own generation, man, I'm looking around at half of them and I'm just like, good God. Where did we go wrong? Where did we go wrong? And if that's the future,
Yeah.
why?
See,
Why?
I
can't
genuinely...
wait for the scientists that are trying to put together our eternal conscious in their, scantily clad bodies with their camera crews to get the, engagement.
Bro,
So here for it.
the unlucky soul that ever comes across my consciousness, I hope he's had a hearty breakfast and then some, because he's gonna need it.
I don't feel that optimistic about the population, to be honest with you, but I see a very small sample of it, so who am I to be negative?
Bro, my curiosity, like, I genuinely would love to see the world go kind of like techno freak in that sense and get all merged with AI. Again, it may not necessarily be for me, but I can still enjoy it. I can still go like, hey, that's cool.
Maybe we turn into like, Optimus Prime.
There's definitely some Transformers out there. But there's so many things that you just kind of, like I say, imagine having like a hologram projector in your head or friggin'... There's so many things where they're trying to get AI closer and closer to you and just technology more immersed in you. We're going to have chips implanted in our hands soon. And again, life moves so quickly. For some people, it's just going to be normal. There's some people now that are going to grow up never knowing that there was buttons on a phone.
True.
Like,
those are the days.
There are some people that don't know about triple pressing a button to get one letter. One letter. 3 presses for one letter.
Accidentally pressing it a 4th time and having to go through that whole thing again.
Some infinitesimally small struggles that people ain't ever going to realise. But then there's other things that are going to have far more of like a cascading effect. Like, these people growing up with internet now are never going to know what it's like to knock at your mate's door and that kind of... Just getting out of your comfort zone, bro. I think that plays so much onto life of like, just kind of being uncomfortable. Their parents might answer the door or whatever else. Now you've got people that are uncomfortable to talk to another human being in public.
Oh, wild, right? Wild. Bro, phone call anxiety? Real thing. And I didn't... started impacting me now. And I'm like, what's happened to me? What's happened to me?
Don't get me wrong. If I get a random call off the thing, it might startle me a little bit.
No, but I mean having to call someone. Or like someone, especially when you don't know. Sometimes I'm like, oh, this is long. I don't want to do this. Like, why can't I just hash it out through text, bro? It's easier. So much easier to send an email or just a text. Yeah. I hate calling people, man.
Now, see, I'd rather...
Unless I know them.
I'd rather deal with a human being, because at least then, like...
Long.
No, I hate it when you get pushed on to, like, email us or go through this automated service. Bugger off, man.
I prefer that if they're quick. If they're quick, I'm down.
Nah, I'd rather the real, actual human experience. At least then I can have a little bit of banter, or, like, if I need to moan, I can actually get some compassion from the person, opposed to just, like, please press 5. So, bugger off, man.
Fair.
Is there anything else that you'd like to throw at the population, other than your seed?
IQ. Will, drive, determination, ambition.
I mean, bro, do you know the old proverb about leading a horse to water?
Common sense. Driving skills. Aptitude.
I mean, you're kind of going to butcher my seed there, but I was going to say ignore triggering statements, but then there's so many people that are going to be triggered by what you just said because they're going to fall into one of those categories. Where it's just like, damn it! But again, like, don't be so easily triggered. Like, times are changing, life moves. Freaking, we was once a whole different species, freaking roaming the plains of Africa and the whole freaking world. Now we're populating the world in a different way with freaking Priuses and Teslas and what other stupid technology you want to freaking get out there. I hate electric cars. It's always going to change. So try not to get caught up on it. Like, you never know. Most of us ain't going to be here in 50 to 100 years for damn sure. And in 1,000 or 10,000 years, we're all going to be dust and then some. So don't take triggering things to heart. Don't take hateful comments to heart. Just live your life and try to be happy. Be the kind of world, or help shape the world that you want to be in. Don't be the problem. We got enough problems out there. Don't be one of the ones that ain't gonna make the cut when we start, thinning the herd. Because it will come. That Thanos click and you're gone. Catch you on the next one.